You're listening to the DreArea Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The San Francisco 49ers made today, and that is trading for Philadelphia Eagles edge rusher Bryce Huff. It shocked me, but I think the entire fan base can collectively say it's a thumbs-up move for San Francisco. Dre, how you doing? What was your instant reaction to the San Francisco 49ers trading for Bryce Huff today?
My instant reaction was, hell fucking yeah. I was at work and I was like, holy crap, you guys, Niners just got Bryce Huff. And they're looking at me like, what?
Who's
like,
that?
Dude, they got Bryce Huff. And a buddy of mine was like, isn't he like a defensive back? No. He is an edge rusher that is one of the premier edge rushers in the league, especially if you go back to 2023. So, no, this is a huge get for San Francisco.
Yeah, my instant reaction was like, I had the double take. I was like, wait, what's happening? Like, oh, okay. I didn't know San Francisco was in the business of making moves on May 30th. You re-signed Brock Purdy, you re-signed Fred Warner, you re-signed George Kittle, and now I guess one true day into the OTAs, you go and get what is probably one of the better edge rushers on the market still, which is a massive get for them. Obviously, we'll dive into more of that here, but I want to let the viewers know to like, share, and subscribe to the show on the audio podcasting platforms. Give us that 5-star review, and let's push back on the narrative, Dre. When there was a ton of people saying if they pay Brock Purdy, they can't afford to trade for a big-name player. They can't afford to sign a big-name player to a massive contract.
Oh,
and
this narrative.
Like San Francisco said, you are full of crap because those people look entirely dumb on this May 30th edition of the show. Like that is they are aggressive. They're going for it. It doesn't matter who it is. Like they are going to find a way to add valuable pieces to the roster. And the idea that having to pay Brock Purdy $265 million would hamstring them is entirely false.
It's entirely false. I mean, look, we already know that, you know, the Niners had somewhere between 52 and 53 million in salary cap space, right? So we knew that that had already existed after they had signed Fred Warner. So at that point, it's like, hey, look, they have money to spend. They're under the salary cap. So, I mean, like, it's not like they're hamstrung by Brock Purdy's contract whatsoever. I think they're only paying him somewhere close to like $9 million this season anyway. So they set themselves up to be more flexible in acquiring talent. And that was one of the things that Brock Purdy wanted out of his contract was he wanted to be able to have a contract that allowed San Francisco to bring in more talent. And that's exactly what they did today in acquiring Bryce Huff. And we know now that Bryce Huff is already reworking his contract to make this deal work, which means that he wants to come to San Francisco. He wants to work and play under Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan. So he wants to be here, and that's a good thing for San Francisco.
Yeah, the immediate reaction from us was like, this is awesome. But even Bryce Huff got in on the action, immediately posting on his Instagram story, kind of like deuces to Philadelphia, like, thank God I'm out of here. But also immediately posting a picture of him with the New York Jets, which is where he worked with Saleh the past couple years. So you can tell he's excited to be back with Robert Saleh. And it's funny where the last couple of years you had Steve Wilks, you had Nick Sorensen, two guys that really weren't going to bring in the big name free agent. And while you can certainly say Bryce Huff isn't the biggest guy in the market, he's not TJ Watt, he's not Trey Hendrickson, he ain't Nick Bosa, right? But the allure of Robert Saleh is already kind of showing its true colors where you see what he did in the draft. Like 7 of the 11 picks they took were all defensive players. The free agency was mostly special teams stuff with Brant Boyer, but you're seeing the impact Saleh is already making. And you can honestly say, had this team not hired Saleh, they're not acquiring Bryce Huff today. And that to me is a big win for San Francisco.
I think so. I mean, I think because Saleh is here, he was able to communicate with Bryce Huff about, hey, man, we'd love to have you here. This is kind of what we're looking at in order to get you here. And here's a guy that, I mean, he's like the 7th. They have 7 defensive ends on that team pretty much. And so look, he's like, look, instead of me having to battle my way through all these guys after we just won the Super Bowl, I'd rather just go there and play with you and, essentially be a day one starter on this 49ers defense. I mean, he gives the Niners so much flexibility. And so this is such a win-win for both, for Huff and for the Niners. I'm super excited to see what Saleh can do to bring this guy back to his 2023 form.
Well, the great thing about this is that I don't know if it was Jeremy Fowler of ESPN or Field Yates of ESPN, but one of them said that San Francisco had been talking to Philadelphia, trying to acquire Bryce Huff throughout free agency. So they've been trying to get this deal done for a while now, and I don't know if what that means or what that proves. Maybe it's the proactivity of the front office trying to get things done sooner this offseason, but usually you aren't able to acquire players of Bryce Huff's potential this late into the offseason. Usually you're seeing guys getting traded for during free agency. People want to have their rosters kind of put together before the draft to give them more of an identity for the draft, whereas San Francisco said, we're going to go out there, use every single one of our draft picks, bring in 11 players, and then still have the ability to go out there and acquire a player like Bryce Huff. But I do think we have to get into why we both like this deal. And the first thing for me is that I think it's about the cost of what it took to get Bryce Huff, because San Francisco didn't trade a first-round pick or a second-round pick or a third-round pick. The report is San Francisco traded away a day 3 pick to acquire Bryce Huff from Philadelphia. Now that can be round 7, that can be round 6, that can be round 5, that can be round 4. It certainly does feel like that the Niners didn't pay too highly for a player like Bryce Huff, and it really depends on the pick, because if San Francisco, let's say it's trading away a 5th-round pick for Bryce Huff, they're going to get that back during the draft pick compensation that comes and goes during next offseason. So when they have guys leaving free agency, Bryce Huff could very well be that free pickup for them this late into the offseason, which kind of tells you that the only thing they're really spending on Bryce Huff is money. It's simply just money. Now, I'm hoping it's a round 5 compensation pick, but they're really just paying for a player like Bryce Huff, which put things into a much better context when you're acquiring players this late into free agency, because Philadelphia is paying $9 million of Bryce Huff's $17 million that are guaranteed to him, and San Francisco's only paying roughly $8 million. So they're essentially cutting that contract in half and saying, you get a half and you get a half. And the great thing about this is, if Bryce Huff is a bust, they can wipe their hands and say, look, there's an out in that contract after this season, but if he's good, I think he'll have like a $17 million cap hit again next year. Maybe it's $21 million dead cap. They'll rework that. They'll figure things out with him, and they can hopefully have a speed rusher on the roster for a heck of a lot cheaper going forward. So when you heard day 3 pick for Bryce Huff, it kind of felt like if he can reach that potential of being, your number 3 guy, your elite 3rd round rusher or third down rusher, it's kind of a steal for San Francisco this late into the offseason.
Absolutely, it's a steal. Sorry, I have a guy with a weed whacker like right outside my room here, so I know it's super loud. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I was just
said, "Hey, shut up!"
It's like, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" No, this is definitely a steal for San Francisco. I mean, the fact that you're getting a guy who's only 27 years old, had 10 sacks in 2023 under Robert Saleh. This guy was a premier pass rusher in 2023. Went to the Eagles, didn't work out. Never really worked out with their scheme, with their fit. They had a lot of guys there as well. You had Josh Sweat. You had a whole bunch of guys there. And so he kind of fell out of the rotation, had some injuries as well. So it overall just was not a very good fit for Bryce Huff. I don't think he really wanted to be there. And so San Francisco, which I agree with you, have been in communication with the Eagles about this player, and they were able to get this deal done. And now it gives San Francisco the flexibility to say, hey, Mykel Williams, we want you to go out there and dominate and be the best player you can be. But now we have a guy in Bryce Huff that will allow you to kind of mature into your position and learn the game, as opposed to saying, hey, it's you and Bosa, you guys got to figure it out. No, now you have a premier pass rusher in Bryce Huff that could spell Michael Williams or allow you to move Williams to the interior on certain downs and to really give you that kind of NASCAR package. If you have Huff, Bosa, and Williams out there, now you have a real pass rushing threat with three huge guys or three pass rushing guys coming at you. So I think this is so cool that the Niners were able to get this done. But at the same time, I think what it does is it sends a message to the league saying, hey, guess what? I know you thought we were kind of rebuilding. I know you thought we had a lot of holes on defense. Guess what? We just got Bryce Huff, and we're not done yet. I still think they're going to acquire more players. Not a whole lot more, but I still think they're looking to make a few more moves going into the next round of OTAs.
The DreArea Sports Show is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code DreArea Sports to start your free trial today. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.